Hi students, in today's chapter we're going to look into prepositions. So in everyday conversation, you'll be using preposition a lot. Now here are some examples of sentences with prepositions in it. Okay, number one, the preposition on, which means atas. I sat on the floor. Let's go into the house. We will meet at 4 o'clock. Have a look under the couch. He went to school. Let's look into the first type of preposition, which is prepositions of position. So prepositions of positions are words like above, below, in, over, across, beside, and so on. So I'm going to translate the words so that you understand the meaning of the words here. Above means atas, but above is used differently compared to on and also over. So we're going to discuss that later. Below means under or bawah, in, dalam. So in is also used differently compared to into. Over, across means seberang, beside sebelah, inside di dalam, along melalui, between di antara, against mean pada, near dekat, under di bawah. Look at the examples here. Tim looks very small when he stands beside his older brother Tommy. Nana always thinks that there is a monster under the bed, or you can also use the word beneath. The student is looking for his spectacles among his books. There are many souvenir shops along Petaling Street. The man standing beside Tina is very thin, or you can also say the man standing across Tina is very thin. Across means depan daripada ataupun seberang. Alright, so now we're going to look at in, and also on, because these three we use it very frequently in everyday conversation. So these are the example of prepositions of position. So let's look at number one, which is at. So basically we use this when we are talking about specific street or an address, a place, an event, or specific location. Look at the example here. Janet lives at 37 Apartment Ria, Jalan Tambi Abdullah, Brickfields. Or you can also use it in a conversation when you're saying, please meet me at the post office. I saw John at the wedding. Now let's look at number two, in. So we use in before buildings, towns, cities, and also countries. For example, Ahmad is studying accountancy in England. Or I can say, I live in KL. We also use in when we're describing something in three-dimensional spaces like a cupboard or even a classroom. The box is in the storeroom. Now, let's look at the last one, which is the preposition on. We use this before mentioning streets, roads, rivers, and also floor. We also use it when we are describing something in two-dimensional spaces like walls, ceilings, and also floors. For example, the clinic is situated on the third floor, or the picture was hanging on the wall. Okay, let's look at in and also at. Sometimes in and at can be used interchangeably. At is often used when we're talking about activity that is done in the place. But in is used when we think about the place itself. For example, we were at the university. Or the lecture theaters in the university were big. So I hope you can see the difference here between in and also at. Now let's look at the rest of the preposition. Number one, until, or sometimes in short form we use till. We use this when action or situations ends. For example, the boys play rugby until 7 o'clock. Let's look at from and to. We use this when we are talking about the beginning and the ending of a situation or an action. For example, the officer is on standby duty from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's look at the third one, which is the preposition by. We use by when something takes place at or before a certain time or moment. For example, you have to return my book by 4 p.m. tomorrow. Now let's look at the fourth preposition, which is for. We use for when we want to show how long something or an event takes place. Look at the example there. The food that we have now can last for 2 days only. So the next preposition is while. We use while when two things are happening at the same time. Madam Chan was reading the novel while waiting for her daughter. Now let's look at the preposition since. We use since when we want to indicate the starting of an event. For example, the Wang family has lived in this building since 1990. Now let's look at the last example of preposition, which is the word before. So we use this when we want to indicate something happens in an earlier time. For example, Lila wakes up before 6 a.m. today. Here are 7 other types of prepositions. I hope you are able to use it correctly. What you can do is you can try to create a sentence by using all the prepositions given here. And you can refer to the examples given to create your own sentence. Good luck! Okay, now let's move on to the preposition of position at, in, and on. And in this slides, we're going to look at when we're going to use at, in, and on and the examples. So we use at when we're talking about clock time and also meal time. For example, the meeting is at 3 o'clock. I want to meet you at 3 o'clock. We also use it for meal time. For example, I will see you at lunch. I will see you at dinner. Let's look at the second one, which is in. So we use this when we're talking about month, year, seasons, week, and also in the morning or in evening. Look at the example there. Sheila was born in April. Sheila was born in 1999. Sheila will be here in 1 week's time. Now let's look at the last one, which is on. We use this when we're talking about days, date, weekdays, or special days or special occasion. Look at the example there. Sheila was born on 27th July 2001. I am going back to my home on Wednesday evening. My mom will serve nasi dagang on the day of Eid. Let's look at the prepositions of movement. Look at the picture there so you would understand. So number 1, into the box. We use this when we're talking about something going into something. Number 2, out of the box. So you can see there the mouse is moving out of the box. Around the box. So we use around when we are moving around something. Away from the box. So you can see there the bird is flying away from the box. Toward the box. We use toward when we're moving toward an object. Past the box. So we use past the box when, look at the example there, when the bird is flying past the box. So you can use past when you are moving past something. Onto the box. So this is when the frog is jumping onto the box. Off the box. So we use this when the frogs jump off the box, and you can use it when you jump off something or you move off something. Over the box, you use this. You can look at the picture there. The frog is jumping over the box. Under, you use this when you move under something. Through the pipe, across the bridge, you can look at the picture there. Up the stairs, and also down the stairs. So these are very easy example, and you can use the picture to visualize things. So I hope you know how to use into, out, around, away, toward, past, onto, off, over, under, through, across, up, and also down. Okay, so the last one, we're going to look into the differences between on, above, and also over. So basically, on suggests contact with the surface. Okay, for example, my handphone is on the table. So my handphone is on the table. So there is contact with the surface. Okay. Above refers to a higher level or position. Look at the example there. The stars are shining brightly above the city. Okay, so because the stars are located at a higher position than the sky compared to the city, so we are going to use above. The last one, which is over, this refers to a higher position as well, but you usually use it when something is moving. Okay, for example, the plane flew over the mountains. So the plane is moving, so that's why we're going to use over. So I hope you can try to do an exercise on your own and try to create a sentence by using on, above, and also over. So that's it for today. I hope you are able to use all the rules that we learned grammatically. Bye! The plane flew over the mountain. So the plane